the works. Now, you should be able to hear me.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
The chat is disabled, and I just figured out it was muted. I don't know if it's on your end or mine, but
Okay, well,
everybody probably having the same problem. This
could
is
be. Well,
Trish.
I just unmuted you and I asked Jasmine.
Ah, here I am.
Oh, good, she
Hello.
is. Yay!
Okay.
The thing about it is I'm kind of happy the way things are going because doing a launch or even trying to start a business and doing webinars and stuff is very intimidating. I've been doing webinars for years, and still with the technology updating and changing, it's from time to time, I'm not sure what's going to happen. Today, it's been one of those days where the stuff that I'm doing seemed to go well, but I'm having tech problems. So I'm kind of happy to be able to share that with some of you who will be doing these kinds of things as you are starting businesses or trying to create additional income for yourself. Because from what I can tell and the way things are going, you're going to need to do something to create additional income, even if you're on Social Security. They're messing with that. These new tariffs that are that are in effect with Canada and Mexico is creating an economic war with them. So they're raising their prices. So everything coming in from other countries, and China is on the warpath with us as well. All of this stuff is going to affect us and our bottom lines, and fast. I went to the store today to buy some paper towels, and I put them away because they were laying nearby. But I normally buy my paper towels. I buy Bounty and I buy the big pack of 8 triple rolls, and it's like about $19.99, which is $2 and something per roll. Not a big deal. They're triple size and they last a long time, and they're double thickness. Well, I didn't get the order in because I was busy doing all this other stuff and forgot, so I ran out. So I ran over to Safeway to get some paper towels, and I thought, well, I'm going to order my big pack, so I'll just get a package of 2 rolls, Bounty, but they're the double rolls, not the triple. And the price, it was on the top shelf, and I'm kind of short, so I couldn't really see the price. So I just thought, oh, 2 rolls with $5, whatever. I went to the checkout and she scanned them. It was $10 for 2 little double rows of paper towel. And I said, are you sure? $10 for 2 little rows? I mean, little ones, not even the big ones, little ones. And she said, no, there's no problem with the price. That's the real price. But if you want, I can void it. I said, please do, because I'm going to go get the cheap stuff until I can get my other stuff. She said, yeah, the prices are going up really fast on everything. And I just decided then, I came right home and placed my order with Amazon to get my regular towels that I've been buying for years. But 2 little rolls of paper towels, and it was almost $10. And I said, no, I just am not going to pay $10 for 2 little rolls when I could get 8 of them, triple size, for twice this price. But that's just the start. And now that we are officially in this economic war with Canada and Mexico, they're hitting back. And they're apologizing to us, but they're still taking action. And in some ways, they don't have a choice. So we as individuals are going to have to secure ourselves. I read another article today about Social Security being under attack. And I don't know if it's the retirees that are going to be hit and or the people on disability. Either way, it's going to be bad. But if it's the retirees, that means all of us who are seniors with basically, depending on that supplemental income, are going to be hit hard. And for us, it's like we need additional sources of income, and you need to start planning, excuse me, a good 3 to 6 months ahead of when you're going to need the money, because it takes time to put things together. First of all, figure out what you're going to do and put things together, and then figure out how to get the marketing to get people to join whatever you want to do, to sell your products, your services. And everybody's out there selling everything from 5-minute crafting to how to do $1 million project launch or whatever. I've seen all of it. And what most of the people are doing, I mean, if you're on Facebook, you know what I'm talking about. But what I've seen a lot of people doing is they're sharing just enough to get you into their funnel, and then they're upselling, upselling, upselling. So what starts out as just maybe a few tens of dollars, maybe 30, 40, $50 for a product, by the time you get the pieces that you need to actually make it work, it could cost you $300, $400. But when you say, well, I'll just get the basics because I don't have the money to do the rest, then you find out you got just enough to get yourself in trouble. So what I've decided to do, I'm not selling a product to teach you how to build a sales funnel or recruit anybody or make a product. None of that. What I see as the greatest need is to help you get motivated and inspired and creative so you can come up with ideas and things that work for you according to what's important for you, what you can do. And all of us have gifts and talents that we are not tapping into. But when the financial situations get really tight and jobs are lost, and you spend 2, 3, 4 months going through the grieving process, by the time you get to the point where you figure out, oh, I got to do something, you're in emotionally very deep and it's hard to climb out. I know that's where I got to the point of zero and having to rebuild and start over. But I've done this several times over the last 20 years, not by choice. Once was a result of a divorce. The second time was a result of me coming out of the grief and the depression and all that and having to start over in my late 50s and early 60s. And that was back in the 2012 timeframe. But now we're 12 years after that. And with the craziness that's going on, once again, I'm finding myself starting over. So I was looking at how I could rebuild a business, and then I was thinking, well, what do I want to do? Because I don't want to just have a one service kind of business, which is what I just had. I was doing psychic readings and tarot readings, and I was contracting with a company where I was able to just be there and people would come in. Well, that contract unexpectedly ended back in July, I think it was. And right on the heels of that, my other contract with the university, which was teaching and mentoring and what have you, also got cut back. So I found myself at this point in time with my income cut about 70%.
Mm.
So yeah, think about what would happen to you if you ended up with a 70% cut in a matter of 30 days.
Yes,
And
ma'am. Yes,
it,
ma'am. That happened to me 100% cut. I was a
yeah,
medical massage
oh God,
therapist
yeah.
and
Well,
lost everything at once. Yes, ma'am.
that's why I'm here doing this, because you can buy all kinds of packages to tell you how to do your funnels and do your emails and sales letters and talk to people, all that kind of stuff. But I didn't really see anybody teaching you how to dig in, activate your power within, use your imagination and your intuition, and dig yourself out of a hole, because that's the only way you're going to guarantee your survival and your thrival through this situation. I don't know how deep and dark this is going to get before things turn around, but when you got people in charge of things that don't seem to have an awareness of the needs of people, let alone the ability to lead effectively, you got to be independent and you got to stand on your own 2 feet. Now, you've heard the saying before, um, the power, the great power of spirit is within you, and anything that you need or anything that you want to do, you just go within and tap into that power and do what you need to do. But that's easier said than done when you don't have a process, especially in the middle of all of the bad programming and teaching we've had all of our lives that make us dependent on an employer or some other resource that keeps us dependent. I call codependent, because
Mhm.
we now know that a job is not a secure job. Even, I mean, and the thing is, when I look at a lot of the people working for the government, I worked with some of my first jobs in my late teens, early 20s, was working for LA County. And my mother kept telling me, oh, you know, go ahead and settle in there, work for 30 years, and you can retire with a pension and blah, blah, blah. Well, it didn't work out that way. And now I'm seeing people who've been working for the federal government, which was always considered the most secure type of job. And these people are losing jobs left and right. Imagine working 25 or 30 years and looking at retirement in 2 or 3 years and getting one of those notices saying that you got to go, or that you can take this 25,000 or whatever they're giving away, and get out, um, without the income from the retirement you've been counting on. Some people are losing their jobs, so all of that stuff just disappeared.
Oh my
And
goodness.
yeah, when you work for a company, and the government's the same way, you work towards a retirement, and that's built up over time. You have to get vested, and that generally means a minimum of 20 years. And for some, it's 25 or 30 years, because there's also an age issue. There you have, it's like one of the things when I was at Pacific Life, I was a contractor there, and I think the way their program worked, you had to work 20 years to get full benefits of retirement, but you also had to be at least 55, I think it was, to claim that retirement. It might even have been 60. So for someone who, say, started out working there at 20 years old and worked for 20 years to get to the point of I'm vested, I can retire, but they're only in their 40s, and their rules say you got to be 55. They got to work another 15 years before they can qualify for full benefits and retirement. A lot of people back in the day, I don't know if they've been doing it recently, but some people who found themselves in that position would choose to leave the company where they were because they had 20 years invested, and then go work someplace else for 15 or 20 more years and get another retirement fund vested. And by that time, they were at the age where they could easily retire. So imagine having that kind of situation with the federal government and finding yourself getting one of these emails that's saying, well, you know, sorry, but you're not 55, or, you know, we're just cutting the fat off of this department and you got to go. And you got house notes, maybe kids in school, you know, college kids perhaps. You got car payments, because we carry a lot of debt, even though we try not to. But to suddenly come up with looking at everything disappearing in happening so fast that you don't have time to respond, let alone plan and react in a logical way. You end up spending time going in circles trying to figure out what just happened. When you finally come out of the shock enough to figure out, well, I guess I need to do something because this is not coming back. By then, you could be several months down the line and your finances are running thin. I don't know how many people have enough income that will last more than 6 months. I had about 5 months of income saved up. Um, and with the rising costs and everything going up the way it is, it really only lasted about 4 months. And then I started finding myself in a bind. Now, I did start working on this recovery and rebuilding, rebranding program back in the summer. And I've gone through 2 other iterations of this program before I found this one that seems to work the best and at the lowest cost to my clients. So that's what I'm going to introduce to you tonight. This is the result of 6 months, or longer than that actually, because I started the first set of webinars, I think was last August, and I did a set of 6 or 8 manifestation webinars, and that worked out okay, but it wasn't complete. It wasn't really what I wanted to do. And then I went into another manifestation series called the Power and Prosperity, or no, Wellness and Prosperity um, Project. And that was to help to inspire and re-energize people and help them learn to tap into the creative power within. And that lasted, I think that one was about 4 months. But anyway, as they were coming to a close, I realized, no, this is still not quite it. This is not quite what I want to produce. And then as I'm looking at my finances shrink down to, uh-oh, I got to do something, I came up with this idea of a network that was low cost, but a monthly service, and I could just dump a bunch of stuff in it because with enough people signing up, it would support me enough to be able to continue to teach and heal and do all the things that I really want to do that serve people, but that are not giving you just a patch, a band-aid on a bullet wound. If I can teach you how to tap into your intuitive power, to use your meditative abilities to unlock those doors, to give you inspiration and help you to reprogram your thinking while you're healing your heart. If I can do all of those things, I know that you will make it because you'll be able to stand on your own 2 feet no matter what happens. The thing about where we are right now, it's a very unique time in humankind's history, and that is that we are in this ascension process. So everything is changing. Not only um, our lifestyles, our country, our government, and all this stuff. But there's this little thing going on out here that most people don't quite understand yet, and that's called the consciousness, the ascension of consciousness. That's what this is really all about. And what we're seeing at this point in time is the collapse of the old civilization that no longer works or serves us in favor of something new. The surprising thing to me was, though, as in many countries, while we were in our election thing last year, there were many other countries around the world doing the same thing. But it seemed that quite a few of them chose to go the conservative route because they were thinking that was going to be the best for the economic survival and prosperity. And they're finding out that's not the case. My understanding is the universe is about expansion and growth, not contraction and compression. And when we, in our human way of thinking about things, go into compression and retraction, we are actually squeezing the life force. And of course, that means you are getting less, doing less, and having less power, less choice. But when you step out of the box and look around you, and learn to see opportunity and possibility, you see a whole different picture because the truth is humans aren't going away. The world's not coming to an end. And, as far as I understand and what spirit and guides and angels are telling me, we're not going to get hit by a comet and have humanity wiped out like it's been in the past. That's not going to happen. This time we are ascending and growing, and we can choose to go with that ascension process, or we can choose to step back into the compression energy, and that hurts. So for the soul and rejuvenation, or the joy and rejuvenation, joy and soul rejuvenation network, I'm going to open up the box, show you what's inside, how to tap into that power. And everything that I'm going to offer you is about reprogramming your energy and mind. If you can rechannel that mind into a positive expectation, you can work miracles. And they don't always take a lot of time. It can happen very quickly when you're open and ready. But you got to know how to do it. And as much as I've taught with the university where I've been working, all of the tools and processes and everything are in the curriculum and in the course of study, but it doesn't really tell you how to use it, especially in today's world. It doesn't seem relevant and applicable because sometimes the terminology or the techniques from the past are not working in today's world. We all heard of the law of attraction. Well, there's quite a few other universal laws, but there are 6 other ones that are relevant to where we are and what we're doing. But the main one, the law of attraction, is probably the most powerful because it's there and its design is to react to you energetically. What you think, how you feel, what you say, what you do, all of that is energy, energetic responses and energetic actions. And that's what it sees. It doesn't know that what you're trying to do is create a new source of income if all you're thinking about is, oh my God, I'm going to lose this, or that's not going to happen, and what if this doesn't work, and all that, stuff that's going on. And I've been through all that. I've done all that, even coming together with this project. Um, but I also know enough and have enough tools and how to use them enough to destroy that energy when it starts coming up, because it can really take over. If you were following me in my profile page, not in the group, not in my teaching group, but in my profile page, I went through a very dark night of the soul just about a week ago, maybe not even that long ago, where I was just in a terrible state going through the night because things were not coming together the way I wanted them to. The website, and I'll talk about that later, but the website modifications weren't coming together, and I was starting to panic. And one night last week, I literally, about 1 o'clock in the morning, sat on the side of the bed and just cried and just, I was just overwhelmed with this energy because I knew I could do this, but it seemed to be so much resistance and so much stuff going sideways that I was afraid that I couldn't pull it together in time. But by morning, I was feeling a little better, and I just dumped it all out in what I call the morning moment on my profile page. And then I did the work that I'm going to be teaching you over the next few months. I literally just immersed myself for about 4 hours in some of the work, the deep meditation and visualizing work, and something special that I will get into in about maybe 2, 3 months. I don't want to start out with something that heavy, but there is a special process that was created by a man named Bert Goldman. And I realized just a few days ago, he created this process back in 1994. The CDs that I have, I realized were created in 1994. Now, he passed away a few years ago, so we don't have access to him for questions, but he did leave a version. There are two variations of his program. One is still available on Mind Valley, and I haven't looked to see what the price is or whether it's the full complete 9 CD course or not, but there is a 4 hour version of what he's teaching, and then there is a 1 hour, I think 1.5 hour version. They're both very effective, but when I went back to the 9 CD version that I bought way back in 94, I realized there was a lot more information that didn't make it to this 4 hour version that's on YouTube, but it is available and it is doable, but there's so much more to it. So when I immersed myself, when I went back into my CDs and really immersed myself into it, I was amazed at how much I knew and understood now, because it's 20 years later. I didn't, or 30 years later. I think I bought it in the early 2000s. But anyway, the point is, when I did it before, I had some experiences and some visions, and some things happened that I never forgot. And I've been using it ever since. But when I went back through it here in the last month, I was like, oh my God, this is so relevant to now. I gotta show people how to do this, or at least recommend that they get their own version and do it with him. But it's called quantum jumping. Now, everybody's talking quantum this and quantum that now, and it's because it's relevant now. Back then, when he was talking about the quantum universe or working in the quantum field, most of us thought you needed to be a scientist or some kind of genius to understand what that was all about. Not anymore. Times have changed. We are in a different energy and a different, potentially creative space. So now is the time for us to use the energy that we've been given. The opportunities for creativity are off the charts. With the right attitude and the right application of tools, you can make magic happen. And it doesn't have to be hard. It is a little challenging, but the challenge is getting over yourself. I guarantee you, nothing that you will decide to do, whatever dreams or goals or plans come out of the network as we work on supporting you, are going to amaze you. They're going to surprise you at how much you can do and how much you already know, but just didn't know how to put the pieces of the puzzle together. So let's go ahead and get started. I don't want to keep you guys too late tonight, but I wanted to make sure. Let's see, do I have more people? Okay, look, no, I don't see it. Anyway, I know that some of this information was short notice because I was more focused on trying to get things together than getting out with the sales pages and the emails and all that. But that's going to be coming as I promote this founder circle moving forward. So let's go ahead and we're going to start out by I've got to read this disclaimer, and this is so that everybody knows what's really going on here. And the disclaimer is that the session is being recorded. The replay link will be available as soon as possible after the webinar ends. By willingly participating in these webinars, you give us permission to use your name, voice, and image should it arise during the webinar recording, as well as the information you convey during the webinar. Your registration and attendance is considered agreement to these terms. Now, I want to make sure before I go any farther, I want to make sure that we are recording, because sometimes I have gone through all the way through a webinar and ended up with no recording and had to do the whole thing all over. So yeah, you can get busy and distracted and end up losing. There we go. Yeah. End up losing what you think you're recording. And I made sure that I didn't do that because I have a reminder screen before I go live that tells me start the recording. That's how often it's happened. So let's just get right into this. This is going to be a mini version of the webinar sessions that we will have. The Joy and Soul Rejuvenation Network format is going to be mostly on-demand home study, meaning that once you join the network, a series of or a lot of information is going to be made available to you. Videos, how-tos, EFT tapping, mind movies where you get to be programmed with inspiring, uplifting music that presents a bunch of affirmations that literally can change your mind without you putting forth a lot of effort. All you have to do is get happy, dance to the music, and watch it over and over and over again. And as I've been creating them, the good news is I never got bored with them. I still sometimes will play them on my computers when I'm trying to do housework, folding lingerie or not, well, laundry, and and doing the housework. It's playing in the background, and I find myself singing along to the song because the words are so positive. Then there are going to be some special meditation exercises that I'm going to do with you. One is a success imprint, which will help you to quickly and easily flip the narrative on the programming that you have in your head right now that says, who am I to think that I can do this? Or why am I doing this? Or whatever. It's going to be much easier than you think when you just open up your mind and receive what the universe is trying to give you. So by using the power of the universe to supercharge your goals and dreams, a whole new world is about to open up for you. This one. I want to say welcome. Our words for this week are happy, choices, and success. Each 2 weeks, because we will be meeting every other week and there will be replays available, but every other week, twice a month, I will be doing a webinar similar to this where I'll be taking you through some of these processes and helping you learn how to visualize and reprogram your mind. And then the other week, I may do some energy healing and work to kind of give you a boost. But I'm also going to be bringing in some guest speakers. And one of the first guest speakers we're going to have is going to be Grandmaster David. Grandmaster David Harris is my traditional Chinese medicine mentor and teacher. Been studying with him for over 2 years now, and he's got some incredible, powerful healing tools and systems that literally can reprogram you through sound energy. It creates your own sound energy profile, and then when you tell it what you need or what's going on with you, it sends that sound energy to you, because you know that energy is energy that goes everywhere. It can be directed to you in positive ways, just like some people know people can put spells on you. A lot of people are having experiences with dark presences. It's all energy, but there are ways for you to clean out your energy field and protect yourself. Grandmaster David has taught me some techniques and ways to help you do that. But more than that, he's just this amazing, compassionate healer that I think he's a being from another planet, or maybe one of the masters that's here to help us, because he does things that I've never heard anybody else do that's in physical form. He talks about doing some what he calls soul retrievals, where he not just, a lot of people are talking about doing soul retrieval, but I'm not sure they do it like he does. He tells a story about a man who died or was dying, and the family didn't want to let him go, especially one daughter. I guess they were working on something together, and she needed him to be around a while longer while she got to a point of being able to stand on her own. Anyway, they called Grandmaster David to come and see if they could do something to help him survive, because the hospital had given up on him. Well, he passed away while Grandmaster David was on the way to the hospital. But he said, all the time I was going to the hospital, I'm talking to him and telling him, I'm on my way, just hold on till I get there. He said, but I could feel him getting farther and farther away. And he said, I'm thinking, oh my God, I got to hurry up because before he gets too far away. Long story short, he gets to the hospital, and when he gets up on the floor where the man was, the family had already left because the man had passed. And Grandmaster David said nurses and doctors are on, they're moving around and, going through all this stuff. And since the man had died, they were all leaving the room. And he said, I asked them, well, can I just spend a few minutes with him? I, would like to, you know, spend some time with him. And so they're like, oh, sure, go ahead. So he said, thank God they walked out of the room. He said, because if they saw what I was getting ready to do, they would have had me escorted out of the hospital immediately. He said, so I just walked over and closed the door. And then I came back and I started talking to him. Long story short is, he said, I got him to come back. And he came back, and of course, when he came back and opened his eyes, and bells and whistles and sirens started going off, and nurses and the staff were running in trying to see what was going on. And they recognized that not only was he awake, but he was lucid and conscious of what was going on. Well, the man lived another year and a half or 2 years and before he died again. And the reason Grandmaster David said he was willing to come back was for this one daughter who still needed him to help her with what she was doing. And he came back and stayed for about a year and a half, 2 years. And this time he said, Grandmaster David said, he told him, by the way, this time when I leave, don't come finding me. I don't want to come back. This is it. Leave me alone. I'm gonna go. I just want to be gone. So Grandmaster said, sure enough, he said when he died a couple of years later, he said, I just kind of put out some feelers to see where he was and what was going on. He said, I couldn't pick him up at all. He had made sure he was so far away that Grandmaster David could not retrieve him again.
I can't wait to meet him.
Huh?
I can't wait to meet him.
And he's the one I told you about. That's in he's in
Right.
Florida.
We've been playing email tag.
Oh yeah. Well, keep doing it, or go. You can. I can maybe get Emily
Well, the
And
business
so
was destroyed during the storms, and then they were trying to pick up the pieces.
they had a
And then,
lot of problems. Yeah.
yeah, and then she reached out to me again, and I hadn't got back with her. So we've been going back and forth.
Well, he's still there, and he's been working on a system called MetaBalance, which some of you may or may know about. That was one of the systems that I brought in. I think that was with the first manifestation group that I did, and MetaBalance was still fairly new back then, but quite a few of my uh, members joined MetaBalance, and all but four are still with it because it's so good. Well, he's been improving it, pumping it up, expanding it, fleshing it out to the point now where what it was 6 months ago is almost unrecognizable to what it does now. I use it every day. It's running right now because as I was coming up to this program, I've been doing so much today and there's been stuff that I had a headache and I was feeling like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this hour? So about 5:30 my time, I
Mhm.
started the energy boost program and I told it I need energy for about the next 2 hours to do a webinar and I have a headache. and that was what I set up and that's what I run. Well, guess what? Headache's gone and you can see I'm pretty energized. So it works, but that's something that I will introduce either later this month or after the Founders Circle program part is closed. And certainly I'll be introducing it by April because Grandmaster David's going to come back and do another session with us. And it'll be on the second, uh, mm, I'll say the second, probably the second segment of the month. I'll be doing 2 sessions a month every other week or twice, 2 Tuesdays during the month, where I get on like this, do a webinar, do some teaching, do some training, do some healing and all this stuff. Whatever you need is what we're going to do. But I want to schedule him for late April to give us a chance to get things going and get settled in and into a routine before he comes on and blows your mind, because that's what he's going to do. Because he still blows my mind. I mean, I got things that I can do with what he's taught me that are still like, thank God I got this because I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have it. So welcome to the network. Like I said, our words for this week, and each week we will have a selection of 3 words that we will base the energy of that particular week on. Part of what you're going to do during your process of doing your own creative work is you're going to, there's a words list that I put in this program. And each time you go into your playroom or workroom, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, you will take 3 words from the list, put them together in a way that's meaningful, because maybe it's something you want to destroy or neutralize or tear down, but more often it's something you want to create. But your words are your spells. And I know sometimes people go, I don't want to cast spells. Well, what do you think you do? When you talk, you spell. When you create a conversation, you are spelling the whole the creation. The Bible says in the beginning there was the word and the word
Word
was
was
God.
with God.
So what do you think that was? The word. So you are a co-creator with spirit. Your words create your reality. Your words, your thoughts, and your behavior create your reality. And when you get clear on what that means, you start using them more carefully and more powerfully. And that's what we're going to learn how to do here. We're going to do a 20-minute mindset visualization in a minute here, and then we're going to go into just a little bit more of discussion and insights on embracing the unexpected. Aha, that how much more appropriate can that be? Because we are still going to be finding ourselves seeing more and more unexpected stuff happening as we go forward. I mean, every day it's something new. So get used to it for the next few months and weeks. There's going to be a lot of unexpected stuff happening. I wish I could tell you March was going to be kind of a calm month, but March is known for its windiness. It's going to be a lot of wind blowing, hot air wind, cold air wind, tornadic winds, all kinds of winds blowing as things are being reformed, re-energized, and in some cases blown away. This is also this month, I know you all probably have heard of it by now, but there are 7 planets lined up in the evening sky. Wonder why they're all sitting out there. I've been kind of laughing, like saying, you guys are here for the show, huh? Everybody's here watching what's going on here on Earth. But they're not just sitting out there with popcorn watching the show. They're participating in it. With the planets lined up the way they are, all on the same side of the sun, that creates a tremendous energetic pull on Earth, which is in the middle. We're between the sun and Venus and Mercury, and between Mars and all the other planets going out behind us, and everything is kind of lined up. And we in the middle are feeling that force, tremendous force, energetically being put on us. And the sun, the hugest, I'll say, being in the solar system, is changing everything with the energy it's sending out. There's no, this is no accident, and this is no fluke that we are feeling all of this tension and stress, and people are being triggered and reacting crazy, and just being a mess. And then there are those of us who are empathic or very sensitive, and we're going nuts just trying to balance all of this energy. You
Mm.
might even be feeling lightheaded and a little dizzy. I noticed my balance is off. I had to move slower because sometimes, thank God, when I'm in the bathroom, sometimes it's kind of a small space, because sometimes I'll stand up and feel my head go this way, and if the wall wasn't there, I'd be on the floor.
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on. It
That's what it
was
is.
really
It's the
weird. And I slept a lot too, last.
Well, that's a good thing, because others of us are having long spells of can't sleep at night. I don't have any trouble going to sleep, but I'm usually, and hopefully if I don't go to bed too early, I'm usually up between midnight and 3 a.m. I
Mm.
wake up and then I can't go back to sleep, but I have a little routine that I've slipped into that helps a lot. It involves meditating in the middle of the night. The sooner I do the meditation, I notice the sooner I go back to sleep. But all of that is part of this process. We are all reacting to it differently.
Mm.
Well, one thing more I want to say about the planetary alignments and everything, Venus and Mars, Venus is the goddess of love. Mars is the god of war. There's going to be some domestic upsets going on. Be careful, be mindful, and be aware that it's not all about you, but it is about you taking care of yourself and loving yourself, so that everybody doesn't break your heart, make you crazy, and leave you in a puddle of energy and not be able to handle yourself. Because with the families and friendships and partnerships that are falling apart, it's like ripping your heart into shreds and then telling you, okay, well, stand up like a big girl, put on your big girl panties or your big boy shorts and deal with this. It's not that simple. You're going to need help. So that's why I'm here. You've seen in the group many people, sometimes they'll refer to me as the teacher, the mentor, the this, the psychic, the healer. I do all of that. But I'm 73 years old. I've been around a long time. I've had a lot of time to put things together. And as I was going through my notes and some of my old classes and things, pulling pieces together for this network, I was surprised at some of the stuff I've done and some of the stuff I found. I even was going through an old PowerPoint and reading through it, and I kept saying to myself, when did I write this? Is this what oh my God, this is good. And I was able to use a lot of it tonight. So your creative powers, very often when they come from within, you're not even aware that that's where it's coming from, but be open and willing to trust that process and let it happen. Go through the remainder of the slides, which kind of present the program. So, like I said, the words for this week are happy, choices, and success. We are embracing the unexpected. And we can do that, and we can turn it from an unexpected experience into something wonderful and desired. It's just a matter of what you do with your thoughts and your minds. The shifts and changes that you're experiencing are the result of your thoughts and feelings over the recent and even far-reaching past. We're all products of our past experiences. Depending on the vibrational frequencies you program these thoughts and feelings to hold, they'll produce a version of your desired outcome or not. When the desired outcome is better than expected, rejoice and celebrate your accomplishments. Give it energy. Be grateful. The universe loves it when you appreciate and show gratitude for what you've created. But when it's less than expected, be gracious. Take some time, analyze how you may have contributed to the less than satisfactory outcome, and then learn how to do it better next time. Like I said, fall down 7, get up 8. Always know that there should always be a next time. That's when you use what you have learned. So again, if the result is something totally unexpected and positive, then know that this is the divine giving you that something even better that I always talk about. I try to end prayers and affirmations with giving thanks for all of this and something even better, because the universe loves to bless you in greater ways than you think you deserve, because that's what a good, loving parent, creator parent will do. If it's totally unexpected and what you consider negative, then look for the lesson in the experience. There may be something you needed to experience and learn in order to become the person that you need to be to get what you want. It may be that this is just not the way to do it. Try a different approach, a different set of uh, tools to get the result you want. On the other hand, it could also mean that what you want isn't right or good for you. You know, some people will pray and affirm, I want so-and-so's husband. I'm in love with that man. I gotta have him. Well, that's not quite the way it works. And many times, I know very, very often, many times people will uh, you know, entice someone's partner away from them. And then when they get that partner in their lives, they find out that person's not as great as they thought they were. And the reason why they were so great in the affair was because you didn't have to live with them all the time, and you didn't have to see all the other things that they do in their usual habitat. So sometimes, and I bring that up because a lot of times I know of people who will ask for spells and different things to happen to destroy another relationship so they can have that partner. And when they get that partner, it's not always what it's cracked up to be. So be careful what you ask for too. When it comes to manifesting, aka creating, remember these basics. You create with the energy of your thoughts, feelings, imagination, and desire. Every thought is an affirmation of desire, but it's inactive energy until you hold it for at least 68 seconds, and then it activates. It activates the law of attraction. Now, and sometimes you get instant results. You can like be thinking about someone you haven't talked to, and it's like, well, I haven't heard from so and so in a long time. 15 minutes later, the phone rings, and guess who? Because there was no resistance for this activation of a desire. And they probably thought, oh, let me call so-and-so. I haven't talked to her in months. It's also that 68-second buffer zone that's needed so that we're not popping out everything that comes to our minds all the time, all day long. Can you imagine the chaos if every thought that you had showed up in your life one way or another? It would be horrible. It sometimes is horrible when we get what we want and it turns out not to be what we thought. But you have 68 seconds to kind of change your mind before you activate the response factor of the law of attraction. Now, that being said, you can also cancel out things that you decide you don't want by either withdrawing your attention from that thought or by stating, I cancel that thought. No, I don't want that. Never mind. Cancel that. Just destroy it, whatever it is. It does take time for something you've been working on a while to the energy to diminish. But for the most part, until it takes form, you can undo whatever you are doing and start over. When you speak it out loud, you give it life and it activates immediately. So that is saying in some ways that by affirming and stating your desired outcome, you are enforcing it, because not only are you saying the words, but you've got passion and intent behind that energy. And this is also very, very powerful in activating your desired outcome. Our voice is our creative power. That's why it's easier to get what we want when we speak our word and tell someone who's supportive about it. You don't want to go speaking your word to all those naysayers. They will destroy you before you ever get off the ground. But speak your word to those who are supportive, who can help you create your outcome, or who can teach you something about what you need to do to make your outcome come into form. We do need each other, but we have to be cautious and careful about who we share our dreams with. When we are creating, we give our ideas, dreams, and visions life by speaking them into the law of attraction. Staying focused and continuing to speak our word keeps our energy flowing out into the law like a beacon, so what we want can come together and find its way to us. Kind of like a homing pigeon finding its way back home. For the purpose of structure, we're going to create what I call the energy workshop, a playroom, if you will, for you to work, play in for your homework and creative practices. When you listen to a video or do an affirmation, visioning, and imagining, go into a light meditation, kind of what we did today. And there are some meditation recordings to help you with this. And I'm going to be this replay will be posted in the library as well, so you can use it. And I'll probably extract the video section of the meditation that we did tonight and post it separately. So if you choose to use that one, it's about 20 minutes, I think, and that way you can just, pop one in and sit and think about what you want, daydream and all that, and it will help to empower and what's the word I'm looking for? Energize your dream, your plans. When you listen to a video and do your affirmation visioning, which is also something that is in your going to be in the library, the visioning and imagining, go into a light meditation, relaxing, closing your eyes, doing the breathing that I showed you, or another breathing process that I sometimes use. But then see your imaginary playroom workshop. It's like a shimmering golden white cloud around you. It's basically your auric field. And in that space and place is where you create and make things happen. It's where you have control. You, along with Creator, are in control of what goes on in your workshop. And that structure is where you can speak into, and it creates, because it's your own energy, it creates what you envision and what you desire even faster. Excuse me. In your excuse me, in your library, there is something I call the power words list, or you can make up words of your own. But I want you to choose 3 words that best describe what you're trying to change or fix, and bring them together in a triangle. This a triangle. Place 1 word on each leg of the triangle, with the most important or significant word on the bottom leg. Ooh, that's a typo. I got to fix that. Then fill your playroom with the pink energy when trying to destabilize something to release it and send it away. Imagine that golden shimmering white light, and this circle around you, just figure it's like 5 feet or so in every direction, above, below, in front, behind, and to each side, about 5 feet wide. So you can fill that space by imagining breathing, or just intending that the energy, that light turns pink, beautiful shade of pink, whatever shade of pink you want. Shift the, and then put it in this pink color and see these words floating out as they come apart from the triangle, with now just 3 words floating as separate words in your playroom. Shift the color from pink to violet, a purplish color, to dissolve or break down the connection that keeps this issue in form. Then see the violet color shift to a bright golden yellow, and allow the words that are now just 3 separate words to dissolve into the golden yellow light and disappear. And then take a breath and let that be. Now, if you want to bring something into form or to change something to something positive in your playroom workshop, bring in the 3 words that describe what you're trying to do or bring in. And this time it works kind of in reverse. You'll fill your playroom workshop with the bright golden light color, golden yellow color, and then set your intention to create your desire. I intend to make this car appear in my life, come into my life, my new job, my new business idea, my perfect love partner, whatever it is. Your intention is to create that desire within this golden yellow color, and you can imagine seeing it take form or take shape or just feel it. And if you have the power of visualization, then visualize what you're intending in that space. But like me, I don't have a strong clairvoyant skill. My clair skills are claircognizance. I'm kind of like an oracle. I know stuff. I also am clairsentient and clairaudient, so I'm very sensitive to things, and I hear things. I hear guidance, and not voices, but like thoughts or communication in my head. It's more of a feeling thought than a hearing thought, but I know when it's coming from one of my guides or masters or directly from spirit itself. Fill your playroom workshop with the bright golden yellow color. Set your intention to create your desire, and then wait a few minutes as you feel the energy increase. And while you're waiting, close your eyes and just breathe your energy into this yellow golden space. Allow the 3 words you've chosen to come to you within the yellow light. Then shift the golden yellow to the violet flame color that we talked about in transition, and see the 3 words come together as a triangle with the words along each leg. Doesn't matter what the order is, just see them come together. And if you can order them into the word that's most important to you and put it on the bottom leg, fine, that empowers it. It's the foundation that you're building on. But if you don't, that's okay. Just bring them together in a triangle. Then see the violet color shift to the color pink again, your favorite shade of pink. And this time the pink color will stabilize or set your creation in concrete so you can work with it. And once it feels stable and strong, then this is the vision you will hold and work with as you continue to bring things into the physical world. Now, when you get into your program and start working with your mind movies and your videos and meditations and all the other things that I'm going to dump in there very shortly, I want you to do these active meditation visualizations at least once a day. Twice is better, but at least once, because remember, you are working with energy, and you're working with a whole lot of set energy, habits, and ways that needs to be broken down and transformed. Spend about 30 to 60 minutes, whatever time you have available, listening to the mind movies and working with your visualization exercises. You can spread the mind movies out because there are 3 to each package. There's 2 packages in there now one for healing your heart and one for making money fast. I figure, getting over sadness and heartbreak is important to almost everybody, especially now, and everybody could enjoy making more money. So those are the two packages we're starting out with, but there are going to be others I'm adding as we go along. So do them when you have time, but at least one of them once a day. Next, continue your meditations and listening to your mind movies and playing in your workshop as part of your homework practices. Through meditation in your playroom workshop, bring in the 3 words that describe what you're trying to get rid of or create. So here's your homework. This is your task should you decide to accept it. And if you do, that'll be by joining the network. You keep developing your plan for your creating activity so you can stick with this program for at least 60 days. Now, it's designed to show results, and you probably will begin to see results if you do it every day in the first 2-3 weeks. Certainly, you'll see some movement, maybe even a lot of movement in the first month. Depends on how open you are to transforming things around you. But it's going to take about 60 to 90 days for you to really see a significant shift in the application of the practices. In other words, stick with it, because we're not building something where you can take a hammer and nail and put some pieces of wood together and voila, you got a doghouse by the afternoon. We're talking about rebuilding and reforming who you are on an energetic level. You got years of programming and hard concrete thinking and ways of being to dissolve. But if you do it, if you do the work, it will undo what has been done. You will, as Yoda, my favorite Star Wars character, will say, you will unlearn what you have learned, and then you can really make things happen. Establish your goals and schedules so that you can keep things in balance and not feel overwhelmed. Set 1 to 3 goals, easy ones is to start with, if to kind of get your confidence up. Decide what you want and write the goals down. Write a description of each one, and you don't want to be too much detail. You want to describe them in, like if you say you want a car, oh, I want a red car, I want this kind of car, I want it to have these features. But maybe you also just want to make sure that you're saying, I want a new car versus a used car. This is the model. I want a Lexus. I want a Honda. I want a Chevy. I want a Buick, whatever it is. And you can, like, for instance, when I created, I have a Honda Tucson now. It's an SUV. When I was creating it back in 2020, yeah, wow, it's almost 4 years. Um, all I really was clear on was that I wanted an SUV. I didn't want a coupe or a car. I wanted something I could carry stuff in. Being a single person, sometimes I need to haul stuff. And having a car is limiting, but the SUV, I can throw the seats down, lift the top up and put a lot of stuff in it. So I chose, based on what was available around me, because I live in a small town, I chose either, it was a Honda or Hyundai. And when I realized that the Honda dealership was 2 hours away, it quickly settled on a Hyundai, which was only 20 minutes away. And I had decided I wanted a red Hyundai and I wanted this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I got to the dealership, they had a red one, but it didn't have the equipment that I wanted. And then I thought about, that red cop car, nah, I don't think I want a cop magnet. And they had a beautiful silver one. And I have had like maybe 5 or 6 silver cars in my life, but it had all the features I wanted, except the sunroof. That's the only thing I didn't get. But it had all the other features. So I bought the Hyundai, the SUV, and I'm very happy with it. And for you, it can be the same way, but be willing and ready for the universe to change that, because maybe instead of getting a Hyundai, you do find someone selling a brand new Lexus or Mercedes, and that's what you really wanted. Don't cut off the universe from blessing you big time, because it will if you allow it. You want to leave room for the universe to enhance your goals and give you something even better. If you'd like, you can develop a vision board too. Do it on a book, do a book or a wall, I know a lady that used to do her vision boards as photo albums, and she would make them very beautiful. In fact, all she did was teach people how to do vision boards and photo books. She was a powerful creator. But you can use a wall, put paper on the wall. That gives you a lot of space to create your vision board. Or just use pictures to help you see whatever it is you're trying to do. If you want to buy a new car, go to the car dealership and get a book. You know, they have those books for the different cars, and that way you can tear it apart and put it on your board, or just sit and look at the book and flip through the pages. These days, you can also do it on the internet. But there's something about having that book in your hands and smelling that new car book smell that will enhance your ability to make it happen. Use whatever support tools and visuals you want to use to support you on this journey. Set your intention to do the practices daily for at least the next 2 weeks, or until our next session, which is on March the 18th. Now, this week's visualization play, this is a little exercise some of you may have done before, but it's a great one to start with, especially for someone who's never done it before, because it's one of the easiest things to do and realize just how much creative power is locked inside that little head of yours. So we're going to start by creating a parking space. You start doing this one and watch what happens. It's real simple. All you do is, before you leave for your destination, say, and it's better if you say it out loud, my perfect parking space down front near the entrance is ready and waiting for me right now. And you'll say that 3 times, each time with a little more emphasis. Then believe and trust that it'll be there. I found that if it's not ready when I first get there, it pops up shortly after I enter the parking lot. Very often, you'll be going down that road close to the entrance, and as you're driving up, it's like, I'm not seeing any parking spaces. And just as you get close to the entrance, a car starts backing out, and you have to stop to let them out. Well, guess what? Say thank you and pull right into that parking space that was being reserved and held just for you. See how often that happens, because I tell you, when you start doing it, you get in the habit of doing it. And in fact, I think it was the prosperity and wellness class that I was doing back in the fall. There was a lady that was in it, and she said she had started doing it, and she and her daughter got so good at it that she said, this is something that I'm going to keep doing forever, because we got to the point where we could make it happen almost 100% of the time. Well, I won't say that it's 100%, but it's pretty high up there, 90, 95, and that's good enough. If your parking spot's not there when you first get there, circle around a time or two. It'll show up. So that's pretty much the Joy and Soul Rejuvenation Network. So any questions do you have? As I said, Yoda is one of my favorites. I love the way he talks. Anybody have anything they would like to ask or know about?
Yes. How do we just sign up for this, or am I already signed up for it? What do I need to
Well,
do?
this is the thing. And because, all right, remember I said I was having some tech issues. Well, my tech person didn't get my webpage finished yet.
Okay.
So it's not up, and it don't have it in like the format it's going to be. So what I did was I created a Facebook group, a private group that's going to be available to you. If you go and purchase this link that I just put in the chat, if you purchase there, um, you will, once you purchase it, it'll notify me, and then I will invite you to join the group. And in the group, there's a posting with a whole list of links and everything that's available to you now, which is going to be growing. I'm putting stuff in tomorrow, probably not tonight because I'm kind of tired, but I'm going to start early in the morning, starting to put more things in there, and I'll be building 2 more packages to go in over the next couple of weeks so that you can start working on different things. I suggest working with 1 package at a time for maybe a week or 2 to kind of get the energy going. I recommend starting with healing your heart, but if you want to do both of them and you want to start making money, but both are powerful and standalone packages. Each
All right.
package will
Yeah.
contain 3 mind movies as well as other related videos for that particular topic. And then you will find some general information, um, like the Emerald Spring of Wellness. That's there. That's a meditation I did over the weekend, which takes you on a journey of swimming in this emerald pool of healing and wellness. It's really great for helping to soothe your soul and make you feel comfortable so that you can relax and not carry so much stress. It's an exercise that takes you into the pool and kind of turns you into a mermaid or a merman. You get to swim and it's breathable water. As you breathe that emerald healing water in, it goes in and works on the inner parts of your body to cleanse and purify your soul energetically and comfortably. Then also in some of the videos have EFT tapping sequences. So there is the chart of what the tapping sequences mean, like on the
Yeah.
side of the hand,
I'm
that's a
real.
karate.
Yeah. I'm
I'm
very
sorry,
familiar.
which go ahead.
I said I'm very familiar with tapping. I
Okay,
just
you are.
heard it
Some people it's
years ago.
totally
Yeah.
foreign to. I'm glad you are, because if you already are familiar with it, then you
Hmm.
can go and do it without it. It's a guided the mind. There's 2 mind movies with EFT tapping, and they're kind of long. I think they're about 8 minutes long, but they take you through the entire routine from the karate chop through your head and your body and cycling around. And when
Okay.
you get through with those routines, you're gonna be buzzing. And of course, if you've done tapping, you know how effective that is. So there's a tapping chart. I also have a video called The Art of Receiving. Some people have a hard time receiving. They're great givers, but they're like, I don't want to receive. But if you
Guilty.
can't receive, nobody can give. So you got to be, it's got to be flow. It's got to move.
Oh, your
So,
chat is disabled too on here.
oh, you can't tap on the chat?
No,
Or you can't
chat
see it?
is just says disabled.
That's weird. Hmm. I don't know why the chat's disabled because I have it out.
Yeah, it's been disabled since the beginning.
That's really weird. Let me see what's going on down here. I'm using Zoom webinars now, which is a little different than
Mhm.
the Zoom sessions.
Okay.
And I don't know why it would be disabled, but let me see if I can. Did that free everything up?
Let me see. Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
gosh. Anyway.
Test it out.
Yeah, I noticed I started using Zoom webinars because it's supposed to give me more availability and also to allow people to register ahead of time so I know who's coming. But one of the things that it does do is it's got all these other restrictions and things that I have to go in and reset every time. So I'm going to get with Zoom support and see if I can figure out how to set them permanently. And thank you so much for telling me that because I had no idea
Mhm.
it was not there. So if you can click on that link now, then all you need to do is click on it. It takes you to a page where you can purchase a service and join the network. And like I said, it will send me a note that you have joined the network and I will invite you into the group. And if whoever joins tonight, I'll invite you into the group tonight. And if you want to go through it and look at things and listen to some mind movies, please do. And then just make sure that you set some time aside to go through your playroom every week, every day. So you
Okay.
can,
Your link is not in my chat anyway.
oh, well, let me see if I put it in again.
Mhm.
Did it pop up then?
No.
Me to hosts and panelists? Oh, wait a minute. Everyone. Like I said, it's
There it is.
okay, doing me crazy, I tell you. And I still got to talk to my tech person she's got to get the work, get the page up. But I use a Wix. I think no, not Wix. Vistaprint. Vistaprint was my original website host, and they changed it a couple of years ago to another company. And I don't get the same service and ability to modify my website like I used to. So I'm also going to be getting a new site designed, but of course, that costs a bunch of money, which is on my list to do. And right now,
Okay.
it's not on the list of right now. But
Right.
as long as you can get this link, you can go to purchase the membership and get started. And I'm available by email or in the group. I'll be in the group. The group is called the Joy and Soul Rejuvenation Group. It was an old group that I used way back when I was doing webinars and training back in the like 2014, 2015
Mhm.
timeframe. I kept it as a test group where I would go and work on different tests where I could do videos and things that wouldn't show up on Facebook. But because of this situation, I decided to choose to use it as a temporary holding site so that you guys can have everything on demand as I promised it. But there's, like I said, there's a video, EFT video for the art of receiving, takes you through some processes to help open up your ability to receive.
Okay.
There are some other videos and things available, but anyway, just go in, you can look through it and start working with it as soon as you are in the group. There won't be any delay to that. Like I said, anybody that joins tonight, and I'm going to be posting this replay in the group as well. So that's where we're going to work with. And I may keep that group open as a Facebook support group. But once I get everything online and get our, what do you call it? The website set up, I really would like to move everything off of Facebook because sometimes Facebook is a turnoff for some people, and I don't want anybody to not be available or not be using this just because it's on Facebook. I
Mhm.
get how people feel about it, but right now, while we're introducing the Founder Circle, it's a great deal for everyone. Founder Circle is $37 a month, locked in for life. Even if you stay with us 3 4 months and decide to not to get out of the group for a while or whatever, if you decide to come back, you are a Founder Circle member, and there's a special code that you would use to reactivate your discounted price. After the first 100 people, the price is going up to big old $47 a month. I wanted this to be priced to be available to everybody. And I know for some people, 37, 40, even for, $37 a month can be a stretch depending on your income and where you are financially. But it's like if you're having problems, don't just decide, oh, I can't do this. I can't afford it. Let's talk about it, because if you can bring 3 friends in who will join, I will comp you at least the membership of 1 month to get you going so that you can make money, and then you'll go tell everybody. It's to my advantage to help as many people as I can through this hardship and get their success story and their reviews, because people will believe you way faster than they'll believe me. No matter what I say, you can, good, bad, or indifferent, you have power. And there are a lot of people out there right now who can use this information, who are hungry for a solution to get them out of a problem, out of a hole, and to be able to have some hope for the future. So like I said, let's talk about it. If it's a difficult thing for you right now, I'm willing to trade a membership for new people coming in.
Okay.
So, as with all things tech, our website isn't ready yet, like I said. So here's the link to join as a Founder Circle Lifetime member, and that's the same link that I put in the chat, and all you have to do is click it there. Just click the link and you'll be invited to our private Facebook group right away, where you'll find all of the programs and video links. Thank you so much for your patience during the construction. And I'm losing my voice. I guess I need to shut up. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email me And I'll put my email in the chat as well. That's talkwithlynn@gmail.com. You can email me your questions or concerns, and I will get back to you tomorrow, not tonight, because I'm going to relax and rest because I still have a lot to do. I still have a lot to put together for you. But I had the choice of delaying, postponing the launch and waiting another couple of weeks, or going ahead and putting it out there. My reason for going ahead and putting it out there is twofold. Number one, I didn't want to keep anybody who needed to get this information and get started on it. I didn't want to prevent anyone from having that availability. But the second thing was, and what was my second reason? Well, there it goes. See, that's why I'm not going to be working too much more tonight. My brain just went zip. I think we're done. But anyway, I wanted to make sure everything was available. Oh, and my second reason was to show you that it's not, there's a cartoon, little meme I have that shows success. It's not a straight line. It's a bowl of spaghetti, and if you follow it through the tangles, it comes out the other end. But in the middle, there's this, squiggles of lines going in every which direction that look like a bowl of spaghetti. I wanted people to see the challenges and the solutions that you go through in the process of creating. I don't know of anyone who's been able to create what they want and say, oh, it's snap, piece of cake, unless they've done it a dozen times, of course. But for most people, especially starting out like most of you all will be doing, it's going to be a challenge and you're going to get discouraged and things are not going to go right or go the way you expected sometimes. But you keep getting up just like I kept getting up. I wouldn't be here in front of you right now if I had given up during any of those previous sessions where I was putting the pieces together and not quite sure how they were going to come together or what the outcome would look like. But I'm so glad that I stayed with it because I love the outcome and the way this is coming together. And I know it's going to help a lot of people, which is what this is all about. As you can see, I'm not going after the big ticket items. I'm going after service and being of service to others. Now, the other good thing about this membership network is if you do choose to take any or to buy any of my other services like tarot readings, energy healings, coaching, all of those options. Some of my coaching and tarot readings are like $150 an hour, but it's 50% off for my network members. I will give any service more than 30 minutes long, give it to you at 50%. So even figure instead of $150 for an hour of coaching or a reading, $37 a month. And if you do decide to take an hour reading, $75 for the reading, that's only $105. You still save 45 bucks. So it's an advantage to me to be of service to you, but I also want to give you value. So I figured if you're going to stay with me every month and be committed and do this, I would be willing to cut my other services in half just to give you the benefit of knowing that I'm on your side. I'm not about trying to rip anybody off. I want to help. And under today's financial challenges and situations, there's no way I want to keep things the way they are when people are suffering. Like I said, when I went and bought those paper towels today and those two little skinny rolls of paper towels were like 10 bucks, I stepped back and I told the lady, I'm not paying 10 bucks for some single ply paper towels when I can get 8 triple rolls of double ply Bounty for $19. So like I said, I came home and I placed my order on Amazon. But I'm in the mindset of how can I help you? How can I be of service? And hopefully this will be valuable to you and you will at least try it out, see what comes to you, how it serves you, and then we can go on from there. So does anybody have any questions or anything before we call it a night? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Now, the meme for tonight, I like to put little means of encouragement and inspiration at the end of every webinar. And tonight, the message is the moment you start acting like life is a blessing, it starts feeling like one. I
Amen.
don't care what the crazies are doing. When you control your feelings and responses, life takes on a whole new perspective and looks as beautiful as this heart of love is. So let's get out there and do something to help you get back on your feet and into a positive, creative expectation of a better life and better health and wellness as well. So without further ado, thank you for attending today's webinar. May the divine spirit within bless you and those you love with peace, love, and light now and always. Thank you all so much. I appreciate your support more than you will ever know. And I will see you in our group. If not, I'll see you on the next webinar. Good
Good
night,
night.
everyone.